while they take the picture, I quickly announce the next session panelists. The next session is the final session for the day. We again meet tomorrow morning at 10:15 a.m. Where a whole host of sessions await. And we also have our Chief Economic Advisor of India, Dr. V. Anantha Nageshwaran, coming in for his address tomorrow morning. So the next session is Building Bridges in the Indo-Pacific, Catalyzing Business Connects in Southeast Asia, where we have the Honorable Myanmar Consulate General in Kolkata, Mr. Ong Ong Mothen. We have Mr. Indranil Chengupta, who is the former chairman of India Business Chamber in Vietnam. He's coming all the way from Hanoi, Vietnam. Dato Ramesh Kodamal, he's the chairman of ASEAN India Economic Council. He's coming all the way from Malaysia. Then we have Mr. Johnny Chotrani. He's the chairman of Philippines India Business Council. He's coming all the way from Philippines again. And we have Mr. Marshall Rathore, who is the director of Nepal India Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Nikki, and he's coming all the way from Nepal. So it's truly an international session. I request you to sit back and enjoy the session proceedings. It's a 25 minute session and then followed by high tea, and then we meet again tomorrow. Thank you. May I request the panelists to please come up on the dais? Colleagues, please usher them on the dais, please.
Welcome to session 2. The session, as you have seen, that it is already running 1 hour late. We try to manage wind up in 25 to 30 minutes. Everybody is interested for the dinner, and nobody would be keen to listen to our, remarks and dialogues. So what we're going to do this session, cut short of 1 hour to 25 to 30 minutes. I have already given the questions to all of them, and if you look at the discussion started in the morning, in the inaugural, and the session just we had before this. The title of the session is The Building Bridges in the Indo-Pacific, Catalyzing Business Connects in Southeast Asia. Two great oceans, Indian Ocean and Pacific Oceans. We need many bridges, not just single bridge. And when it comes about business, so business leaders are more important to me than the political leaders, the diplomats, because they do the business, they do the food for everyone. So we have with us 5 speakers, very eminent, and I'm not going to read their resumes, but just for the sake of discussion, we have a first speaker is Mr. Ong, who is the Myanmar Consul General in Kolkata. Then our good friend, Mr. Indranil Sengupta, who is the former chairperson, India Business Chamber in Vietnam, in Cham. Then Dato Ramesh Kodamal, very good friend, very old friend. He is a very known personality in Southeast Asia and East Asia. We have Mr. Johnny Chotrani, he is the chairman Philippines India Business Council. He has a very well connection with this part of the world. He's from Calcutta. His family has migrated to Philippines, but he's here for the last 50 years. It's a very rich memory. And we have the last but not the least, gentleman from the Nepal, which is Marshall Rathore. When we have seen, he was introduced by our former ambassador. Well, in Indo-Pacific, the region, it has many sub-regions, and many workable free trade areas. If you have been closely following up, like RCEP, like IPEC, like CPTPP, like ASEAN FTA, like ASEAN Plus. So those who are handling free trade agreements, they know these nomenclatures. But there are several silos, sometimes they don't talk each other. Previous session Customs Commissioner was talking about that they have a customs within the country, but it is not connected with trade partners. There are many, many challenges. Now, we have an Indo-Pacific dream, and if you have noticed, the President Trump has introduced different trading arrangements, a tariff. But if you look at Southeast Asia and East Asian countries, when it comes to Indo-Pacific, we use the word called ASEAN centrality. It's basically ASEAN driven. Now, in the Indo-Pacific, there are, except Brunei, Laos, Rest of the countries, they are getting within band of 19 to 20% tariff line. India, is on the other, is a 50%. Many of the products, Americans have already introduced anti-dumping. For example, the shrimp we export. It has a 10% anti-dumping already done last year. Now 50%, so it is becoming 60% tariff. So what is going to happen, if we fail to come out with a very workable bilateral agreement with the US? Then Indian shrimp exporters, many of them from Calcutta, like IFB Agro, they will be sending their shrimps to Indonesians, to the Vietnamese, they will repackage. So nearshoring, offshoring, several supply chain development are happening. And in this changing scenario, the trade is not a fixed kind of thing, it's a dynamic, right? It's not a static. The country I bet is Vietnam. And Mr. Sengupta, he is here to talk about it. Earlier, he used to represent Tata Steel globally as his managing director. Then he himself decided to settle down, not in Calcutta, but in Hanoi. So with that, three key words, it comes in my mind. ASEAN-centric integration. ASEAN summit is coming up last week of October. Prime Minister will be flying. There is talking about a resilience, particularly supply chain resilience, and new value chains are coming up. If this kind of a scenario, we look at it. We will hear to them. I have, with my, some of my observations, I just start the discussion. I have given them many questions, but given the time, I think it will be difficult to go through the question. But the first speaker, Mr. Ong, Myanmar, and I told him that Myanmar election is coming in December. Myanmar is going for a democratic system. And Myanmar, you have seen that President Trump has removed sanction on rare earth. Myanmar has a very strong rare earth deposit, if I'm correct. So how he is looking at it, the whole things are changing, the scenario on Myanmar specific. And Myanmar is our maritime neighbor, our land neighbor, and it has a strong historical connect between India and Myanmar. So, to you, 5 to 6 minutes. From here. Okay.
Distinguished speakers, industry leaders, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to all of you. It is a real privilege and honor to be invited to be here among the august presence of the industry leaders and all their distinguished dignitaries. In my presentation, a very brief one, I would like to focus on the Myanmar's position itself as one of the catalyst business connects in Southeast Asia. In the context of Indo-Pacific, broader region of Indo-Pacific, as well as especially with my host country, India. Myanmar, strategically located at the crossroad of South Asia, Southeast Asia, and the wider Indo-Pacific, is a natural bridge between the Indian Ocean and Pacific trade networks. With its coastline along the Bay of Bengal and its role in regional initiatives, like the previous section said, regional initiatives such as BIMSTEC, and also the India's very famous Act East policy, Myanmar contributes significantly to connectivity, trade, and maritime cooperation. Now I'm going to focus on infrastructure connectivity projects. Like you all know, most of you know, Kaladan multimodal transit transport project, connects Kolkata with Sittwe port in Myanmar and extends to northeast India, bolstering both trade, connectivity, and regional integration. It is also poised to become one of the important connectivity projects. And one notable distinguished guest is that our Union Minister of India, Sarbananda Sonowal, announced in July 2025 that the entire Kaladan multimodal transport project will be operational by 2027 completely. The project will shorten the distance between Aizawl in Mizoram and Kolkata by around 700 kilometers approximately. Sittwe Port, as I said, Sittwe Port development with the kind assistance of India Ports Global Limited, managing Sittwe Port, maritime connectivity, and regional trade channels are significantly enhanced. And another significant landmark connectivity project is Myanmar-India-Thailand trilateral road. It is also attended by the Union Minister of Foreign Affairs of Myanmar, who participated in the trilateral meeting on July 11 last year, 2024, at the Taj Palace Hotel in New Delhi. So it shows that how much these projects and connectivity are being emphasized by both Myanmar and the India. And of course, in the broader context of Indo-Pacific, we are really hopeful of these projects will be successful. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Excellency. Please. It's really short, and even still my stopwatch says within 5 minutes. Thank you for giving time. And very important points, Excellency said. The Kaladan projects, that is connecting Calcutta with Northeast India through Myanmar. Many things. I visited many times on behalf of the External Affairs Ministry. So excellent. And we look forward to more, India, Myanmar, ASEAN, Indo-Pacific. That kind of relationships coming up. Thank you very much, Excellency, once again. So let's move on, and we have the next speaker, Mr. Sengupta. I've already introduced him to you. So I've asked him, because Vietnam is our dark horse, the country which got highest tariff, but he negotiated in a way, it has become one of the lowest tariff zone today. And many things are happening, here, which let's hear from him. And I have asked him that Vietnam is the signatories of 25 plus FTAs. You name it. European Union, RCEP, CPTPP, APTA, and so many things. So it is a kind of a window to the world, a door to the world. And the man is here who is going to share to us. So I've asked him that with the recent development with the Vietnam and US, what are the new business opportunities for us going there and between India and Vietnam, and anything he would like to add on. Over to you. You can speak from here also.
First of all, thank you, Bengal Chamber of Commerce and Industry, for giving me the privilege to address this August gathering for the third time. So I was very lucky to be associated from the first edition of this Indo-Pacific Forum. Now, the one which Pravidya asked me, I'll sort of explain it in a little different way. Today we are discussing Vietnam because of, Trump tariffs and things like that. But I would like to take you back how Vietnam did before all these tariffs and things were sort of imposed, and hence we can decide how Vietnam and India should engage with Vietnam. So my and Navneet, who just left in the previous session, our ex-boss was late Dr. Jamshed Irani, and he used to say one thing always, that don't do your business strategies which are based on a policy decision with a stroke of a pen, because it can be reversed also with the stroke of a pen. So do it on your fundamentals and the structural. So now, I'm not saying that this tariff will, based on fundamentals or not, it may be reversed later. So that's why I wanted to go back beyond this, before this tariff era. So when Vietnam started liberalizing, let's say 25 years back, that's when they realized their domestic market is limited, 100 million people only. So they cannot have a very vibrant manufacturing industry if they only focus on their domestic consumption. So what did they do? Like Prabhita just now said, so in the last 25 years, Vietnam actually signed 25 FTAs. That means on an average, 1 FTA per year. And even before the last FTA, which has been signed with the US, so with this other 24 FTAs, Vietnam was covering 45% of the global GDP, which means that with the FTAs, the cost of delivery, I'm not saying not necessarily the cost of manufacturing, but the cost of delivery is the least in 45% of the GDP globally. With this US FTA, that figure has now become 70. So basically, Vietnam does not have GDP only with two parts of the world. One is Africa, one is South America, and Middle East. The rest of the world, you name a country of significance, Vietnam has an FTA. So this is what they did to expand the market. Now, expanding the market is not everything, right? Then you also have to have your factors of production at a competitive way. So for that, they did two more things. One, the mill to market, they shortened it down because they brought this entire concept of economic zones and industrial parks and things like that, which are ready. You can just do a plug and play. So once you have decided, you have signed the contract with the industrial park or the economic zone, within 3 to 4 months, you can actually start the factory. For MSME, this is like, it cannot be better than this. I mean, because for MSME, it is very difficult to go and take a piece of land and get all the electricity, this, that, and all, and start. By the time you have started, it's too late. So that's what they did. There are around 1,000 industrial parks and economic zones where everything is at your doorstep, right from electricity to sewage treatment to effluent treatment to water to internet, and you just have a contract, 50-year lease, and you start producing. And even if you want, they'll give you a factory shade. So the third thing they did, which is they introduced certain incentives on tax holidays, like 2 plus 4, 4 plus 9, and there are different schemes to help the MSMEs to sort of, be more competitive globally. Now that may go out. I don't know how many of you all are aware of the GMT, which is the global minimum tax. So once that kicks in, and let's see when it kicks in, this concession, the tax concessions, they will get sort of little bit of diluted. Now these are three things they did, and hence they sort of attracted MSMEs all over the world. FTA, industrial parks, and and economic zones, and the tax breaks. Now that made Vietnam as a manufacturing hub, and this is before China Plus One. I've not even come to China Plus One. This is before COVID. They're already in the MSME sector. They were already up there, and then came the COVID, and then the China Plus One. So, after China plus one, the country which has gained the most is Vietnam. 83% of China plus one of the investments went to Vietnam. And now, let's come to Trump tariff and what is the scenario after that. So I see a few things. One is, why Vietnam was able to, from a highest tariff, it got one of the best tariffs in this region, is because of their prior experience of doing one FTA or a MLA every year. With that experience, they could actually did a good job with US with some 65% tariff to 20% tariff. Because they know how to do it, and they know how to negotiate, even as maybe a small country. So now with the Trump tariff, what I see and how India can, I don't know what will happen. It'll be sort of kite flying to say what will India reach finally in terms of tariff, but let's say it will still not be less than 25%. Okay. So there are some of the things which India can do with Vietnam. One, and I know we are running out of time. So let's restructure the MSME, because MSME, it is better to have some Indian investment in the MSME sector in Vietnam. So that two things happen. One, you get much better access to the global market because of the FTAs which has been signed. So that's something which one can think of how to restructure the MSME supply chain. The second one is with this, because I see a lot of countries now actually with this Trump thing, they will actually shift their manufacturing unit to Vietnam. So there will be more boom in manufacturing. So there is a lot of technology is coming in anticipation of that. So there are a lot of startups, and that is something which India is very good in. So we should start investing in their startups, because we have already done that. We have learned it the hard way, and the good and the bad and the ugly. So we should start investing in their startups, because I see that to be another big tech startup, which is another big boom. And the third one is, which is my favorite topic, but I don't know how we will do it. There is going to be some serious infrastructure requirement from the Vietnam side. Because of all this, there will be more addition into their economy, the manufacturing sector, after this Trump tariff. So if we can invest in the infrastructure, but there we have a bottleneck. Our Indian Exim loans are much to the dislike, and I've said this in every forum, much to the dislike with the Exim Bank. Either the processing is very slow and the coupon rates are high. And that's where you have all the investments, most of the investments you will have are from Korea, from Japan, from Europe, because their Exim loans are quick and fast. So these are the three things. I can go on and talk, but in interest of time, I will just sort of keep it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. These 3 points are very powerful. So we will have bilateral, and I would also request all of you, if you have any burning questions, please meet him during our high tea. And the 3 points are very important. And I remember that once upon a time, we used to go to Vietnam and Hanoi or Ho Chi Minh or Da Nang, giving a training to the Vietnam officials for trade negotiations. Now they have beat us, in Vietnam, picked up the knowledge from us and signing such a forward-looking deal with the US in a short period of time. So that's what, the country which is having, speaking in one language, perhaps that's kind of an advantage they have. Thank you very much, Mr. Sengupta, for a very useful and very powerful deliberations. Let me move on. Now we have with us another, eminent person with me. I share dais with him many places, but Calcutta is very special to me. He has also he comes from a family who devoted to Indian National Army with Subhash Chandra Bose. His forefathers contributed, devoted, in a kind of a supreme sacrifice. So he is from that family. So I request Dato to take the audience, and please.
Good evening to all of you who are present here. I thank all of you because some of them who are here left. Whenever we speak at the last session, many of them leave. But by staying here, you'll always benefit. You know, there's a proverb, the early bird catches the worm. But in this case, the late bird catches the better worm. So let's start the session. I am from Malaysia, and I have been in business for the last half century. And my focus has been just to see that how we can work together and improve trade in everyone's life. I've been the former secretary of the ASEAN Business Advisory Council, the ASEAN Business Council, ASEAN India Business Council, and now the ASEAN India Economic Council. A long journey, long experience, long hurdles, many hurdles in life, but I always see there is a light at the end of the tunnel when challenges are there. When I was a young boy, Malaysia was an agriculture-based country. We were only talking of agriculture and nothing else. As we moved on, we started becoming an industrial country. We had investments coming from Japan, Korea, and other places. Today, we are talking of an IT-based company, a digital company, country, electronics, and things like that. So this cycle moves on. Today, we are in a situation where we cannot think what is going to happen tomorrow. With the tariffs which have been placed, everyone is wondering what is going to happen. And we are all in the same situation. You can say India, you can say ASEAN countries, they all have a problem which they are trying to solve to move forward. Might be 50% for India is a lot, but for countries like Malaysia, even 20% is a lot. Because the items which we sell, the margins are very low also. So the problem is with everyone. And do we see an end to it? Yes, if we are confident of ourselves, we see the future. And India is with all of us. We must understand one thing. For ASEAN countries, India is the nearest neighbor and has a border with us. So has China. If ASEAN can work with China, exporting more than $800 billion, why can't we do it with China? Where is the problem? Is it the problem with ASEAN, or is it the problem with India? We have to look at it with an open mind. Today, everyone wants to do business. Every businessman wants to benefit from the situation. And how does the government place policies? Malaysia is a small country. We have more than 27 or 28 bilateral and free trade agreements. Malaysia doesn't refuse anything. They just keep on moving. Whether it's RCEP, whether it's BRICS, and what comes next, we are always there to open the doors and work and manage our situation. I know India is a huge country. You got a huge population. You have challenges. So sometimes you all are a little slow in working towards things. Some time ago, when we were requesting India to join RCEP, when I was also working on the negotiation, India was responding, yes, we are coming back, we are coming back, we are coming back, and ultimately they left out. What was the reason of India leaving out? It was very visible that China was there. They did not want to open up the markets. Today we see that India has got more trade with China than ASEAN. It's amazing. So what does that tell us? We have to look at things positively, accordingly, and work. And now we are still requesting India to come and join RCEP. It's still on the table. How will India react? We still do not know. But we hope that they come and we can open up markets and work further. If you can buy X amount from China, you can also buy the X amount from ASEAN countries. We are all your neighbors, but we have to understand why. In 2010, the ASEAN-India Agreement, FTA, was signed during the Congress time when Mr. Kamal Nath was the trade minister. And up till today, we are still struggling to review it. We have been hoping that we can review and open up more markets on both sides. We are not looking at one side, we are looking at both sides. So I think in policies, we should look at it very carefully for all the countries to see how we can open up. India is moving towards UK to sign FTA. And we here are waiting for last 12 to 14 years to review our FTAs. So on the ASEAN side, we are always open because we have a cultural relationship with India. Like Malaysia, since independence, we have worked very close with India. We have got an Indian diaspora of 2.8 million people in Malaysia, one of the largest, you can say. Before America picked up the numbers, we were the largest. And we still hope that we are there to work closely, ASEAN countries. Singapore has got the largest investments from ASEAN in India. Singapore has got 6 Indian banks there. So you see that Indians want to be there, and yet they hesitate to be there. So I think we must have an open mind policy to look into things, how we can actually benefit from each other. There is one problem which we are going to face, and this is my thinking from my experience. ASEAN and India, both of them around the same level, they have got 97% of SMEs. And this SME situation is a problem where we must all work together to solve it, to have a growth structure moving forward with businesses. It is not to remain stagnant, because we have already got the interference of artificial intelligence, which we are all talking about. Which businesses, today you see retail businesses in ASEAN and in Malaysia are dropping because 80% of the businesses are going online. So it becomes very much cheaper to open a shop and do business, to have workers with you. So everyone wants to go online. So these are situations which are challenging. I was talking to a professor last week. He says, you know about AI? I said, yes, I know little about AI. Then he stressed to me, do you know about HI? Yes, I've heard about HI, human intelligence. So he said, good, at least you know. Do you know what is FI? I said, I don't know what is FI. What is FI? He said, this is the most important thing you all should know. FI is future intelligence. How the future intelligence is going to hit the real intelligence, and the human intelligence is going to be in problems. Are we prepared for it as human beings? We are talking of business, we are talking of trade. But the world is moving into a different direction where we must understand things are coming our way. We must protect ourselves. We must protect our families. We must protect our position to be where we are today. SMEs is something which I always believe. SME, they always say you are a small and medium enterprise. But I don't call an SME an SME. I call an SME a self-made entrepreneur. Because people who do the business by themselves are SMEs. And once they grow, they are going to grow well. So being an SME, don't feel shy. SME is the people who have planted the roots in whatever they do. And they are the growth engine, and people after them take over the business and say we are public listed companies. Be proud to be an SME, to be proud to be a small businessman, but Never give up. Find a direction. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Very encouraging words. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Our last two speakers, one is, I have already introduced him, Johnny, my good friend. Like Malaysia, the Philippines is a country which hosts many IT BPOs. If you look at Wipro's largest investments, it is in Philippines. So he comes from a country which is an island, very challenging, and he has been investing there. His roots is from Calcutta, and so floor is yours, Johnny, for 5 to 6 minutes, and you can speak from here or you can go to the podium. Okay, thank you.
Honorable members of the Bengal Chamber of Commerce and Industry, speakers on the panel, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I believe it's already evening, so good evening. As he mentioned, I am from Calcutta, so I will take a little 1 minute to introduce myself, where I am from Calcutta. It is a profound and deeply personal privilege to be standing here before you today. Life has a beautiful circular way of bringing us home. I was born in the city. I walked the halls of Don Bosco Park Circus as a student, where I learned lessons in discipline and excellence that would last a lifetime. On December 31st, 1975, I left Kolkata carrying a part of Bengal with me to the Philippines. Today, after decades, I stand here in my birthplace in the city of my childhood, not just as a visitor, but as a voice from the heart of Southeast Asia. It is a moment of great personal significance, and it is a powerful reminder of the deep human connection that truly bind our vast Indo-Pacific region together. The Bengal Chamber has been a witness to and a driver of a vibrant economic history. It is therefore a particular honor to speak with you today about the future of trade, the future of security, and the future of our shared region. I come to you from the perspective of the Philippines, and nation of over 7,600 islands, sitting at the very crossroads of the Indo-Pacific. For us, this vast maritime region is not an abstract, tragic concept. It is our backyard, our highway, and our economic life. It is a region of breathtaking opportunity, accounting for over 60% of the global economy, which has been mentioned already. At the heart of this dynamism is a simple, powerful truth: commerce relies on stability, and stability enables commerce. This is where our two nations, India and the Philippines, find a profound common interest. The economic imperative is a partnership of growth. Now, I would like to speak on what I was asked to speak on. Basically, is there a substantial and largely untapped potential for bilateral FTA? Answer is yes. Alignment in Indo-Pacific, both India and the Philippines are key players in the Indo-Pacific region, sharing a common interest in a free, open, and inclusive regional architect. An FTA would be a concrete economic pillar to this strategic partnership, reducing dependency on single supply chain and promoting diversification, a key lesson from recent global disruptions. Complementary to the structure of two economies, or rather than competitive, India is a stronghold in IT, pharmaceutical, manufacturing, and service, while the Philippines has strengths in electronics, IT, BPM, certain agriculture products, and a large skilled English-speaking workforce. Underutilized trade potentials, bilateral trade was approximately $2.9 billion in 2022 to 2023. This is modest compared to the potential given to the size of the two economies. An FTA would easily double or triple this figure by addressing tariff and non-tariff barriers. India companies like Adani, Green Energy, Tata Consulting, engineers, and several pharmaceutical firms are expanding in the Philippines. Filipino companies like International Container Terminal Service Inc., ICTSI, operate major ports in India. An FTA with an investment chapter would secure and accelerate this trend. ASEAN-India FTA as a foundation is not a substitute. The ASEAN-India FTA provides a baseline, but is a broad agreement covering 10 diverse nations. A bilateral FTA can be more ambitious, covering deeper tariff liberalization, faster and deeper reduction on specific goods of mutual interest. I will go back to last month when our president of the Philippines, just last month, the state visit of our president Ferdinand Marcos Jr. to India marked a historic milestone as we celebrated 75 years of diplomatic relation. The key takeaway was decisive upgrades to our partnership. It wasn't just about symbolism, it was about substance. We moved with a new energy into concrete cooperation in defense, maritime security, agriculture, and digital finance. This means the framework for a deeper collaboration between our business communities is now stronger than ever. The doors are more open than pathways are clearer, and the commitment from the highest level of the both government is unequivocal. The chamber role building the future is where the business leaders of Bengal and India come in. This is not a job for diplomats and admirals. You are the essential architects, or we are the essential architects of this stable future. Every joint venture you form, every supplier chain you diversify, every technology transfer you agree upon does more than just generate profit. It builds bridges of mutual interest and brings the two countries forward. It creates a powerful consistency for peace and stability because our economies become so intertwined that conflict becomes unthinkable. The foundation has been laid. The momentum is with us. Let us now, the Philippines and India, and the vibrant business communities we represent, seize this moment and build together. Let us be the architect of an Indo-Pacific that is not only the center of global economic gravity, but also a brilliant model of stability, security, and shared prosperity. Thank you, Mabuhay from the Philippines, and a heartfelt thank you to the Bengal Chamber. Thank you.
Thank you, Johnny. Thank you very much. Well, we come to the end of the session, the last but not the least, our final speaker, Mr. Rathore. I have given him some questions, but given the time, he has the freedom to speak whatever he would like to, 5 to 6 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
In fact, if I may, Mr. Rathore, if I may, just few seconds. To our audience, a round of applause for Mr. Rathore for being here today, because we all know what has been going through in what has been the situation in Nepal. Even then, he has made it here just to keep the request and the invitation. So one round of applause for him.
Thank you so much. Well, thank you so much, Sambirji. And first of all, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Bengal Chamber of Commerce and Industry for inviting me on this special events. And thank you, sir, for this wonderful session to moderate from yours. Well, actually this Indo-Pacific conclave, which actually the fascinates, for the people like me, who is from the chambers, representing chambers, and especially when it is taking place in such a wonderful place, a strategically important place like Bengal. So that really fascinates me to be here. So thank you for inviting me for this conclave. So first of all, I would like to introduce, or let's say about something about my chamber itself, so that will help you to understand what the Nepal-India Chamber of Commerce is about. So Nepal-India Chamber of Commerce and Industry, we say NICI, is a bilateral chamber established in 1993, founded by a group of visionary business people of Nepal, and the founder president was Mr. Prabhakar S.J.B. Rana. Since its inception, NICI has served as a trusted and instrumental institutional platform facilitating cross-border cooperation in trade, investment, tourism, logistics, energy, infrastructure, and industrial collaboration. So since then, till the date, we are working on such areas, and we are committed to even more, to work in the coming days ahead. Well, this is an immense pleasure and privilege for me to be a part of this important event, and I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Bengal Chamber. We have witnessed of India, as India has now become a major global economic power, reaching over the $4 trillion US dollar in GDP as of early 2025, and this marks India the fourth largest economy, and even looking forward to be a third largest economy of the world. So, and when we talk about the India and Nepal, that relation that we have, India and Nepal are bound not only by the geography and culture, but by deep economic and infrastructural interlinkage like trade, tourism, investments, technology, and so on. For Nepal, India remains Nepal's largest trade and development partner, with bilateral trade exceeding US $30 billion in year 2023, and over 90% of Nepal's third country trade passing through Indian corridors. This interconnectedness is there. Above this, we are more connected with emotions as well. Over the decade, what we see about India, India uh, over the decades, India has introduced that impactful policies like the PM Gati Shakti and Udan, Make in India, and above this, the neighborhood first policy, which I think this initiative has brought us very close to each other. And today we are here to share views on that topic, building bridges in the Indo-Pacific, catalyzing business connection in Southeast Asia. India is undoubtedly the leading in the region, as it has the strategically blessed with resources and locations. It has all which it requires, to lead the economy in the region. It has a seam, it has a market, resources, ability, and business, and so on. And now, here I would like to link my country once again. Nepal is geographically small, but rich in natural resources, as we all have understand. We have that much understand that we have resources, landscape, weather, culture, being a landlocked country, but now we start saying that we are land-linked country, with India. The dependency is natural in case when we are land-linked country, and we have to, almost our 90% of trade is happening by Indian corridors, so that dependency is natural. When we talk about the building bridges in the Indo-Pacific, catalyzing business connections in Southeast Asia is interesting, and we see this would give positive impact to all the neighboring countries, as this will strengthen economic connectivity, promotes blue economy initiatives, maritime trade routes, and port development, improves trade facilitation through secure sea lines of communications, which are vital for energy and goods transports. Another area of its positive impact, we feel, could be the strategic balancing and regional stability. I hope this initiative of India would not only uphold the principles of fair competition, but also contribute to India's leadership in regional connectivity and collaborative development. With this, what I personally see, that the countries in this region seek opportunities, want to achieve economic growth, and this initiative could lead them and move forward hand in hand, provided the regional integration and mutual trust amongst the nation is must. I see a lot of potential for the future economic growth in the region with this approach, and at last, but not the least, once again, I extend my best wishes and gratitude to Bengal Chamber of Commerce and Industry for inviting me as a representative of Nepal India Chamber of Commerce and Industry here in Kolkata. So thank you once again. Thank you all.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, we have exceeded our time. I tried to finish it by 35 to 40 minutes, but we have exceeded to 55 minutes. So please put your hands together and give a round of applause to all our speakers. And I'm not going to, give any concluding remarks. There's no time for Q&A, but 3 takeaways. One is Bengal Chamber of Commerce and Industry, they have a Indo-Pacific Business Council, if I'm correct. So there's a representation from Myanmar, from ASEAN, from Vietnam, from Philippines, and from South Asia, India, that's me, and also Mr. Marshall. So it's a very rich contribution. I'm sure when you do the proceedings, Sambit and others, please take this initiative forward. That we met in Calcutta on 18th of September, and we had a great amount of discussions. So this is point number 1. Second is that there are several recommendations. Many of them, came forward and shared their best practices. Vietnam, Myanmar, Philippines and ASEAN, and I think there is a discussion happening in the Delhi. Let's go back to RCEP. I hope there will be some takeaways in the coming ASEAN-India summit, which the gentleman who has been devoted his entire life to bring back India in the deeper integration with the ASEAN. And third point, that we should continue the discussion that we have, the third edition of the Indo-Pacific Economic Conclave, support of the MEA. It should move forward in many other ways. I thank all the organizers, and we hope to meet again in next year. And
Sir, tomorrow.
Durga Puja greetings to all of you. And
Sir, tomorrow.
Huh?
Meet tomorrow
Yeah,
once again.
the session on this business conclave.
Okay.
Of course, we are meeting tomorrow, but next year, fourth edition. Thank you very much.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you. I mean, as they say, is their miss. I mean, if I can say, I mean, people who have missed this session, it's their miss. I mean, it's truly an international session. All the personnel that you find here, apart from Dr. Dey is our very own, are actually international. They have traveled internationally and they are here today in Calcutta. Yeah, so, but he's our own, so that way I'm putting it across. So yeah, it's been a little delayed, the proceedings. It has overshot by say around 40-45 minutes, but then it was enriching, and that's why we didn't realize that what time it is at the moment. However, it has come to the close today, and with this we conclude day one's proceeding for this third edition of our Indo-Pacific Economic Conclave, which is being organized by the Bengal Chamber of Commerce and Industry in association with Ministry of External Affairs, Branch Secretariat, Kolkata. And we have a pleasant task to perform. We need to kind of share a token of appreciation with our panelists. So may I request Dr. Dey, as the co-chairperson of the Economic Affairs National Committee of BCCI, to kindly hand over a token of our appreciation to Mr. Marshall Rathore first. Can we have a good round of applause? To Mr. Johnny Chotrani next. Now may I please call upon Mr. Obijit Roy to kindly come up on the dais and kindly hand over a token of our appreciation to the Myanmar Consul General in Kolkata. Okay. To Mr. Dato Ramesh Kodamal next. And to Mr. Indranil Sengupta. So if you could kindly stay back with the panel, and they will have a joint photograph. While they take the joint photograph, I request all of you to kindly go upstairs for the high tea, which is awaiting you, and be back tomorrow morning, sharp by 10:15 a.m. We have the second day's proceedings awaiting you. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow. Good night.